It's the JT Cho Show!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the JT Show. I'm your host, JT. Today is Saturday, April 25th, 2020, and this is
Episode 27 of the JT Show. Now, if you hear that little noise in the background, it's my dishwasher. Okay, I had some dirty dishes, a lot of them did dishes today. Anybody else get a little tipsy and then look forward to doing all their dirty dishes the next day? Yeah, not me either, but they really needed to get done. We got lots to cover today. NFL Draft rounds 1, 2, and 3 have been completed so far. Big money moves. That what you're hearing right now is one of my glasses. It's my mug. I'm just gonna move it to the side because it's too distracting audio-wise.
Anyways, before we start, I just want to, if you're watching this on YouTube, okay, first of all, I don't always get iced coffee from McDonald's because it's very sugary. I'm already fat. I'm still trying to grind down to 210. But I had no grounded coffee this morning. I drank the last cup that I saved, and I didn't want to grind and then make it and then have to do all that. I was being lazy, first world problem. So I went to McDonald's. First of all, I hate this stupid little receipt on here. But as you can see, I got a large iced vanilla coffee, okay? And that's super light for coffee. This is, I don't even know how much coffee I have in it, but can I get some coffee with my vanilla? I'm not a black guy. Well, I'm not a black guy. I'm not a black coffee drinker guy. But, nothing wrong with being a black guy, by the way. But anyways, I don't drink it black, but I drink it a little lighter, okay? I buy a lot of oat milk and creamers like that, the ones that are low in sugar and stuff, because I quit drinking pop. Honestly, I can tell you 100%, I haven't had a pop in 45 days. It's pretty great. I'm going to have the next pop in June. But anyways, I don't like my coffee to be that light, So I had to make another coffee, and then I had to stick that coffee in the freezer just so it could get cold. Alrighty then. And I just want to show you, I'm going to pour this back in here, by the way. I want to show you, I'm probably going to do that stupid pour that represents 2020. By the way. Alright, so. A little darker, okay? A little darker, best I could do, okay? So. Not as cold anymore either. A lot of the ice is down here, so I'm going to have to chug it, put the cap on it, what have you. We'll revisit. Sorry for all the clicks and the clanks. Let's get down to business. Lots happened. I know it's Saturday. I might even put another podcast out tomorrow just for funsies. It just depends what time I wake up at. But, did a little grocery shopping today. Took care of some things at the house. I want to start my garden. I know I talked about that a little bit. But it's pouring rain outside. Waiting until that, heats up. There's a couple seeds that I'm going to plant a little later, so I'm going to start them indoors, actually, in those little individual pods. Growing some peppers, and then I got a couple surprises, so I won't talk about, I did talk about previously that I wanted to do the pepper garden, but for those of you who, follow jtofjville.com or get me at the JT Show podcast on Apple podcast or Spotify as well. I think once I get a little bit more activity, I'll start doing Google Play for those Google users. But, for those that have continued to support me, I appreciate it. T-shirts are on the way, I promise. I'm just trying to find a lot of them I'm giving away, I'm giving probably 25 of them away. I don't have merch. Just pay your shipping and handling, I'm buying you a t-shirt. Help me out, dude. I can't, if I had to ship everything to everybody, that'd be like another $100 out of my wallet. I understand it's free promotion, but t-shirts are coming on the way. But speaking of podcasts, there's we'll call him a friend. I met him in community college. His name is Nick Minerath. Over the course of his career as a basketball player, I met him at Jackson College. It used to be JCC, Jackson Community College. He transferred to Detroit Mercy, I believe. I don't know why I think I'm going to mess that up. But anyways, his podcast is his journey for his career still playing professional basketball. He's played in multiple leagues. He puts in the hard work. I get out at 5 a.m. in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the morning usually. And, there's about 10 minutes left to go, and I'll check out my social media. And he'll be up grinding at 5 a.m. in the morning. He'll be working out. He's quarantined like the rest of us. But you'll just see him. He puts his little workouts up. He just gets shredded in his own home. I'm still building my home gym still. I'm getting the floor for my garage, like the padded floor, and then I'm waiting on a couple kettlebells. Yeah, I listened to Joe Rogan. Get over it. But back to Nick Minerath. Great guy. Was always nice. I had him in geography class. That's the first time I met him. And then I'd always see him in the gym. Always be hooping. You'd see him putting up 200 to 400 extra shots just by himself. A couple of times I just rebounded for him. Like I was shooting by myself, but that kind of gets boring. So I saw him over there, so I kind of just hung out and rebounded for at least a half an hour. But tremendous athlete. I highly recommend his podcast. Unlike my rambling, it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. He's got a format to where he already knows where he wants to go with it. You can look up paper articles and things about his past already, but he's going to take you on his professional journey first, and then he'll dive down probably in the deeper issues and things like that. But go check him out, his podcast. I'll put a link in the description on Twitter too. It's the Cape Cod Kid podcast. It's on Apple for sure. I'll throw a link on my Twitter. My Twitter is jtofjbell.com. But definitely go check that out. I'm doing everything on my end to try to get this rolling. There's over 900,000 podcasts in the world. So what makes mine special? Absolutely nothing. It's another person that usually just talks by himself into the camera, and he just rambles about the nothingness that goes on in his career right now, except for writing comedy. And, one day I hope to take off. That's the main goal. One day I hope to, not really get an award, but get to a point where I feel satisfied with the work that I output. I use my friends a lot. I don't want to say they're not supportive, because they're the most supportive friends, but I know sometimes they're just like, yeah, but you gotta do it. I understand, I gotta do it. So, once everything opens back up, I'll continue to do what I'm doing, and I'm taking care of some behind the scenes stuff right now. So, once everything gets lifted and we'll all be safe to be able to go back out, hopefully, the clubs will all be back open. Hopefully I'll be in Chicago by the summer doing it. But 100%, I want to be a stand-up comic. I want to get a special. Still building on that. So thanks for your continued support. Because this is one of those podcasts where a lot of the episodes will be reflecting on how I did, how I'm doing, my progression. But we're at a train halt. Okay, the conductor, he pulled that emergency brake. You heard the squeals on the train wheels. That the high pitch, you can't do it right now, and the way higher. And it came to a screeching halt, so we're all quarantined. So you got those extra hours. Again, go check out the Cape Cod Kid podcast. It's on Apple. And again, I'll throw another Twitter, JTFJBell, link in my description. Today, some other cool things that happened. I'm basically famous already. But I'm going to dive down to my first topic I want to talk about, which is Minecraft now. Uncle Blazer is his hashtag, at Uncle Blazer. He started Minecraft. He said he was bored. But Minecraft takes a lot of hate. I don't know why. I love it. I downloaded Minecraft for $6 in 2009 or something. I bought it on a old Vizio laptop that I had. Worked great. And that was, by the way, that was when, like, it wasn't even like it was today. It was one by block building, just trying out with like survival mode and stuff like that. But ever since it switched over to the Xbox 360, and yes, I know, I'm building a gaming PC and a streaming PC. Those are in the works, unless I get like some added income, which I can't right now because my side job is laid off. I'm just gonna wait till Black Friday. We're gonna continue this format, but anyways, Minecraft. I started in like 2009, and I almost play it once a year. I almost do like a little Journey Conquest thing once a year. The last time I did it was 2019. We had Travi who just deleted everything off his computer, so there goes the server. So we were about to fight the dragon thing at the end, the Ender Dragon, and yeah, I think that's what it's called. But it's fun, it's fun to create. One time, Jeff and I, we made this really cool waterfall entrance side of a mountain with giant mushrooms all over a kingdom. I've made some cool houses. Not cool enough to where you put them online because those guys, like those expert builders, the ones who just build, that's fun to me, but I like survival mode, and I think it's fun. Excuse me while I mute this real quick to cough. No one needed to hear me cough. But anyways, Minecraft. So Uncle Blazer, Workaholics, you know him. He tweeted that he was bored. So skins, by the way, are something that you can put on your character on PC. You can change some skin variety packs for Xbox too, but on PC you can literally just download anyone that you want to. So they make. I used to have a Naruto one for Shippuden, Gaara. They do everyone. So I found one for his character from Workaholics wearing the bear costume when he was wearing the awesome bear. So I Googled it. Google has everything. If you're binging stuff, I don't have any sympathy for you. But so I tweeted at him, and he's like, "What do I have to sacrifice for this to happen?" But that's awesome, I'm not famous, but it's nice to get a shout out from the people that you think are funny, because hey man, you're funny. So but on Minecraft, dude, give it a chance, man. It's great. If you just want to build. If you want to if you don't want to build, if you don't want to survive and you just want to build, that's cool. But I personally like surviving. It's gotten a lot better. There's a lot more to it. You can, man, the options are, I can't even think of how many different variations that I played it. But it's just a fun little game, and you can play it 2-player. It's fun for all ages. It's get lost in the sauce, whatever, what have you. But I just wanted to touch on that. So that was on Twitter. Again, JTJFL. If you're listening this far, sorry that I've mentioned Twitter so much. I'm just trying to push more followers, trying to get more input, more feedback. Tell me how I'm doing. If you think, hey, you ramble too much, you talk about this too much, you say this too much, I hear too much. If you just let me know. You can be respectable about it. You can tell me I'm a douche. I don't care. But the more feedback, the better I can get, the better content that I can give you, the viewer, and so on and so forth. Like, for instance, Villarreal and Pepper, two of my friends, they watch every week. I appreciate it because, this sucks. You're probably like, oh, God, another one, but they actually, watch it. So they're like, hey, your audio is messed up. So I kind of, I don't know if it was, my settings or something that day that happened, but I basically re-uploaded it and boosted the audio and whatever. I fixed that today. I know I need to get more consistent at this. I'm trying to do at least one a week. I know this was later, so Wednesday for sure is going to be another one, 100%. Anyways, we're going to transition now. We're going to go to talk about the Michael Jordan documentary on ESPN. 2 episodes come out a week. They're about an hour, I believe so, an hour a piece. They're great. They're fantastic. I've been seeing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and I haven't really wanted to give spoilers out. For instance, the creator of the show or the director or somebody of high importance that created this content that's fabulous to watch. It was his favorite Michael Jordan quote from the documentary, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to know, because then when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, that's the best quote. That's the Kobe beef right there of the documentary. I think it's great. Michael Jordan said himself. He said, "Once people see me like this, they're gonna like me less." But from the first 2 episodes, I only have more respect for the best basketball player to ever play the game. And in honor of it, I wore my Looney Tunes Space Jam shirt with my Glow in the Dark Space Jam's hat. In shout out, the first 2 episodes is kind of break them down. It talks about the Last Dance, but then also talks about his entire career. So the Last Dance, essentially, this blows my mind because there's a lot of information that I couldn't process as a 6 and 7-year-old. I remember watching Michael Jordan when I was 6, 7, 8, and then when he came back for the Wizards, but I mean, he was like not as good. You know, look at his 2K rating. You're not as good as you were when you were in your prime for the Bulls. So if you break down Michael Jordan's career, MJ's career, you break it down. The man won 6 in a row. He took 18 months off in between. He won 3, took 18 months off essentially, and then came back and won 3 more. After they won their 5th, I'm not going to go over every single thing that happened, but you won 5 in a row with one player. Again, the last 5 of 6, but he took off a year. He just said, so, you're the defending champions again, and technically for Jordan, again. You're the 5-time defending champions, right? And you've got a GM who wants to build for the future. Now we're gonna talk about that just a little bit for the Packers, okay? But right now, what I'm hearing is that one player's won 5 in a row. They've had a fabulous team. They've got all these fantastic starters, and you want to rebuild. Oh, we got to start thinking of the future. And Michael Jordan, he said this, we have the right to defend what we earned, essentially. It might be a little off, but it's essentially saying, like, we're the defending champions. If we lose, yeah, let's rebuild and whatever. But Michael Jordan never played to lose. Michael Jordan has this, need to win. Losing does not cut it in his book, There's a lot of savage quotes coming out, but he literally put in the hard work. He got cut in high school. It talks about that. Comes back, goes to North Carolina. A great coach over there. I can't remember his name. I'm not as savvy. I'll just Google it right now. I'll tell you that right now. But he goes and plays 3 years. He becomes one of the best basketball players in the nation. Hits that freshman year game winner for the NCAA tourney. They have so many good people, like cameos for clips talking about Michael Jordan. And it's good. It's great. I love it. I would highly recommend to go watch it. So I believe, his name is Dean Smith. Shouldn't have known that. I'm not as big as a sports junkie as I should be. But let me tell you about Dean Smith. There's coaches that, I'm not going to say they lie because I can't tell you that they do, but they think of their team more than they think of their players. And for the record, I have a master's degree in coaching and athletic administration. Okay, I'm wasting it away. But as a coach, yes, winning is important, and that's why you play the game. But you should also develop these players mentally. You should help them explain what they're representing, the beautiful things behind the sports that make the sports. If you're coaching football from boys to men, if you like those fancy pronouns, I'm sorry if you get upset from that, but you're adding character and value to these people. So you should be thinking about the overall, well-being of your players. Not, oh, hey, he's just here to win me a championship. That's all I have him here for. That's the wrong attitude. So he recognized that Michael Jordan wasn't gonna, he wasn't gonna excel anymore. He capped out in college. There's nothing more that he can do to get better at the game in college, and there's nothing more than Dean Smith could coach him and teach him, essentially. So he said, you need to go pro. I'm looking out for you. You need to go pro. A lot of coaches would never do that. If if you told me I'm getting a Michael Jordan caliber freshman coming in as a college coach in a D1 program, I pray to God he stays 4 years, but I know he's probably only going to stay for 1 year. But I have mad respect for him now in doing that. But tremendous quotes, tremendous series. I highly recommend it. Again, it's over on ESPN. Go watch it for sure. Something that I touched about in the Michael Jordan documentary, maybe speculation. People on the internet, not experts, but their opinion is that that's what's going on in Green Bay right now. So in Green Bay for the draft this year, it hasn't been the draft that I thought it was going to be for the Packers. Now, I'm a huge Packers fan, but I've been through it, okay? When Favre retired, came back, retired, came back, retired, came back, retired, came back. I'm just going to say it 2 more times now. But with all those times and how he treated Aaron Rodgers, because they drafted Aaron Rodgers in 2005, which was their last first rounder that they've chosen for a skill set player, wasn't Aaron Rodgers in 2005. So as an organization, you've done as well as you have, and the last time you drafted a player like that was 2005. So it took you 15 more years to finally go, this guy might be something special. So some of my opinions, okay, some of my personal opinions. Jordan Love, not a bad pick, okay? If I have enough faith in Green Bay to know that it may not be something that I want to see now, but it's something that they've done in the past that I can't argue with. Let's say, for instance, when they let Brett Favre go, I was heartbroken. He went to the Jets. I still rooted for Brett Favre because I love him. All the Patriots fans most likely are going to be like, go Bucks, secretly. But when Brett Favre left and how he treated Aaron Rodgers came out. I still rooted for the Packers. I still rooted for Favre. And then eventually Aaron Rodgers became the legend that he is today. And you kind of go, man, what if? I'm not trying to go into too much, and I'm not bashing either player, but what if Favre would have retired early? Like Aaron Rodgers, we probably would have had a couple more years. Would he have developed as fast? Did we sit him on the bench too long? There's these thoughts that just keep reoccurring in your mind. So when they drafted Jordan Love, at first I was like, we went to the NFC Championship last year. Yeah, we got blown out. I thought we were going to get some help, some receivers. We had 2 good running backs. Williams had a great last year. And Aaron Jones had a fantastic season. He kind of carried the team a little bit on offense. I mean, Aaron had a mediocre Aaron year, but that's still a great year. That's an Aaron Rodgers year is still a good year if you're a quarterback in the NFL. So an average Rodgers year, or a great year for most quarterbacks, goes to the NFC Championship game and get blown out by San Francisco. And our first pick, the 26th pick in the 2020 draft, in the first round was Jordan Love. I only researched 4 quarterbacks, okay? I researched Burrow, okay? We knew he was going to go number 1. I didn't really have to research much about him. I know who he is. He's a Tiger. What's that? Take it easy on that cigar over there, boy. Hey, boy, take it easy over there on that cigar. But I knew he was going to go number 1 overall. Tua? Sorry, Tua. If you watch this, nothing against you. Again, my opinion. I hope you can stay healthy. That's all I'm going to say. Because once is an accident, twice, injury-wise, once is okay, twice is something, and 4, over 2 times it's kind of reoccurring. I can't remember the exact phrase. I have it written down here somewhere. Sorry. Sorry about the cost. But I would rather have the kid from Oregon than Tua. But again, I'm not a GM. I don't do anything with football right now. So what do I know? I don't have the quote. Anyways, So you have the kid from Oregon too, and then you had Hurst in Oklahoma, and he went to the Eagles. I saw some Eagles just like lit about that, but like I don't know, some Eagle fans, not you, Frankie, they're kind of ungrateful. They just won a championship a couple years ago, and they're acting like they haven't been back to the playoffs in 20 years. Like I saw a dude like yell so loud and like throw his phone that like it cut out and stuff. I'm like, dude, like we just drafted Jordan Love. I don't understand it, but I had to go do my research, and I only researched 4 quarterbacks because I didn't think that this was going to be the year. One of my little ideas on why. You can sit Jordan Love for 4 years. He's from Utah State. He had one scholarship offer. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. I'm just saying he's got plenty of time to develop. And who's the coach in Green Bay? Well, Matt LaFleur. And the thing about LaFleur is he probably wants to develop a rookie quarterback and have enough time to where he's not throwing him to the wolves. Because Baker, I mean, he can play at at the NFL level, but he's not that good right now. Great college quarterback. Had a struggling season. Still very talented, but he kind of got thrown to the wolves. But he had to. He had nothing. They had nothing else going on for him. He was the best option. I don't disagree with the option. But now, my hopes and prayers to the Cheesehead gods. Here, let's say a prayer on Hornug. Shout out to Cut, by the way, for getting me that. I framed it, though. Finally hung it up for the podcast. But let's pray to the Cheesehead gods. Aaron, if you're listening out there, play as long as you want. I love you. I'll support whatever your decision is because, you've done things for this organization that we can't thank you enough for. Yeah, I say we like I belong there, but I'm a fan. I've been to Lambeau Field to watch you smash some people. I also saw one of your career worst games, but I still got to go to Mile High Stadium and watch you play. So no matter what happens with Aaron Rodgers, I saw him in a Patriots jersey, by the way, and I was like, blah. But I would still be like, yeah, that's awesome. It's kind of cool. Like, if he did go and Belichick got Rodgers, and it was like Belichick Rodgers versus Brady, that'd be Bruce Arian. I'd just be like, man, dude, I'm going to puke. This is too much awesome happening right now. So, I wasn't mad. I just had to do my research. But, Aaron, play as long as you want. It's your career. If you could play for another 10, I would love it, but I know that you've discussed it in your past, so I'll support Aaron Rodgers no matter what, and I'll observe the backers as a fan as much as I could. So, we just went over all of that. Jordan Love was drafted. I thought the Detroit Lions should have personally traded their third-round pick, and here's why I'll tell you. Could have got another pick, and essentially Darius Clay... Big Play Slay, not Darius Clay. Wow, I'm dumb. Anyways, Darius Big Play Slay is more like Darius Average Player Play because the Lions didn't really have that good of a pass rush, and Slay would lock down this guy for 3 seconds. He's way better than Sherman. Way better than Sherman. But he would lock his receivers down like you're supposed to for 3.5, 4 seconds. And the problem is that the Lions would never get to the quarterback in that slotted time. So after 4 seconds, it's kind of like, sorry, like look at all this open field now that my cornerback's running their safeties deep. And oh, look at this little wide open gap that I have right behind them. Exactly that we drew it up. When you have a terrible defensive line, it's hard for your cornerbacks to stop all those passes because look how much field there is to cover. And that's why I think sometimes it's harder to score in the red zone than it is like from the 50 because you have so much room to play with to get just an explosive play, and it really starts getting to lockdown defense when it gets into the red zone. You hear that, by the way. That's the old dishwasher. Anyways, getting off topic. So we watched that happen the first round, pick 26. So now we're in the second round. This is the next day. I'm finally watching it on the internet. Pick number 62 for the Green Bay Packers. Oh yeah, sorry. What I was saying about the Lions is Slay's attitude toward the end kind of felt disrespected. I can see it from his perspective, but he left. Okay, and you don't want a player that doesn't. I mean, you kind of did it to him, but you don't want a player with a bad taste in his mouth playing for your organization when he doesn't like your organization. So you got to get rid of him. It's his career. You did it to him. You kind of made him unhappy. So he left, and you drafted a cornerback from Ohio State. And I'm not saying he's not good. He's probably a little better than Slay. That's what some say. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying I heard it. That's how much my table wobbles. But and what I'm saying is you just took a third-round draft pick and you created the exact same team you had. And how'd you finish last year? So after the first round, the third pick in the first round, the Lions were the exact same team they were essentially last season. I know they picked up a few free agents. They got Allison, okay, but essentially Slay left, one of your better cornerbacks, and you replaced him with a very good cornerback. So it's the same team. Drives me crazy. I feel for the Lions. I love the Packers. Love the Packers. A lot of people hate me saying that. Pepper does. But I feel for the Lions. The Packers second round draft pick number 62. I'm thinking receiver, maybe a middle linebacker. We're doing pretty good. We got a young core for our cornerbacks and stuff. So for our defensive, for cornerbacks and safeties, we've got a good squad going on right now. We can maybe use a middle linebacker, maybe a defensive end. Really, really hoping for a wide receiver though. And we draft a running back, A.J. Dillon from Boston College. And I was like, here's my first reaction. I was like, this is disgusting. Then you're like, you drafted a quarterback and then a running back? Like, what are you doing? It was so confusing. Again, I wasn't outraged. I was just, I don't know. I was sitting there like, oh my God, like, why? Like, why? And, I've watched endless hours already of, talk. It's all online, so you're seeing just pure, filler content. But you've got the GM of the Packers and always saying, it's like, this guy's a great player. I understand he's a great player, but what's your plan right now? I need to hear, okay, in order, I need to hear a press conference with the GM, with LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers all at the same thing. And the first question needs to be, when did you tell Aaron Rodgers? Which I believe he didn't even tell him before he did it. Number two, Aaron Rodgers, your reaction. What's the overall plan for the team? Is everybody on board? And what's going on? So Aaron Rodgers, you know what? Let me tweet this. So I'm gonna tweet this right to Aaron Rodgers right now on my Twitter. So we're doing a. All right. On the JT Show, episode 27, I need to know, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, sorry. That won't work because my microphone on my phone's broken. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Man, that stinks. Anyways, getting way off topic. I just need to know those questions. So, Aaron Rodgers, I'll make a snippet about this, but if I could ask Aaron Rodgers in an interview a couple questions, I would ask, when did you find out? What's the team plan going on that you know of right now? Do you have any emotions? How do you feel about everything that's going on? How do you predict the future that your relationship's going to be? Because he's already said he was happy for him, But I understand you got treated bad with Favre, but a lot of people give him flack for the stuff that got aired out about his family, and that's nobody's business. And even when somebody asked him about Corona, he's like, I'm not going to sit in my privilege and tell these people what to do. Like, that's not fair of me. He's very well off, and, again, like, that's his personal choice, and that's great. But Aaron Rodgers, he's a pretty good dude in my eyes. He's a great guy. Never met him. That'd be cool. But, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he plays for as many years as he wants to. Again, I'll say it again. But those were the questions I would ask Aaron Rodgers, like, right now. Like, I need to know those. So, okay. Anyways, round 3, pick number 94, the Packers get, I think his name is Dugera. So it's like he's a tight end from Cincy. I'm not mad about that at all. we needed a new tight end. Cincy has had a decent program for probably the last 15 years. A lot of coaches have been going in and out of Cincy. Brian Kelly for Notre Dame came from Cincy, I believe. I think he went Cincy, Central, and then Notre Dame. And then our second coach after him at Central, Michigan University, also came from Cincy, followed the same steps. He's the guy who coached, he got fired. I can't think of his Butch Jones, maybe? I think it was Butch Jones. I'm probably wrong. I'll Google it, but I'm still going to upload it without editing it because that's who I am. I don't want to fake know stuff. I want to tell you what I know and what I don't know and ramble about all this other stuff that goes on in my head. Anyways, so I'm not upset at that pick at all. Again, I wish Jordy the best. Thanks for, you tried. I wish we could have got the ball to you more. I wish you would have gotten the ball more in Seattle. You were perfect for the Saints. You were perfect for the Saints, man. But I think one of the more memorable, I'm going to cough real quick. One of the more memorable tight ends in Green Bay is Rodgers. Rodgers the Rodgers, So thanks for coming over. Sorry you had to go to the Bears, and I hope we beat you. Oh, by the way, I also saw this. Article that was titled "Analytics Predict that Aaron Rodgers will eventually be in a Bears uniform," and I was like, "Could you imagine me getting a Bears uniform with Rodgers? Because I'd have to." 100. If Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, I'm gonna buy an NFL official jersey. I don't have the Falcons jersey, but I have a Jets Favre jersey and a Vikings Favre jersey and a Packers Favre jersey. I also have an Aaron Rodgers Favre. Sorry. I also have an Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey, and then Old Cut got me this Hornug. I gotta get some pictures for it. I'm gonna get like a couple pictures printed off the internet. If you don't know who Hornug is, the very first Super Bowl, he was the starting running back for the Green Bay Packers. His nickname was the Golden Boy. Pretty rad gift. I pinned it. I know it's not professional, but Hobby Lobby, half off the frames. But what a cool gift. Like, I got a guy who played in the first Super Bowl. I know football has been around longer than that, but the Golden Boy, watch his nickname not be the Golden Boy, and I'm just stupid. But anyways, dude, Cut, super appreciate that gift, man. Very humble friendship. We were actually we were playing some Xbox last night. My boy Earl hopped on, which, by the way, I brought my podcast stuff over to your house one time, and I put it on the board, but we played some golf games and stuff, and I still had a great time that day. We played basketball the next morning. It was that time. But you're invited for my podcast. I would like to get Earl on here, so if we can get a couple people to say, I'd love to talk to Earl on the JT Show. Let me know, and I'll show him. In episode 28, we'll try to get Earl on here. We were playing, and I have some really good friends. Cut's one of my really good friends, and Earl's one of my really good friends. And it's kind of one of those things where, like, they've never met each other, but since we play Xbox now, it's like they click even harder than I click with them. So I think Earl's the one that said, "Hey, JT, how's it feel that me and Cut are going to become best friends, and we're just going to just leave you alone?" And he's like, "Oh, no." He said, what are you going to do when me and Cut become best friends? And there's nothing you can do about it, essentially." And Cut was like, "It already happened." And I was just like, "Yeah, I know, because you guys both like shitting on me. Because we're friends. That's what guys do. We shit on each other. But sometimes I take the shit a little harder because I'm a little dumber. I say stupid things a lot because, I don't know, sometimes I don't really have a speech impediment that bad anymore, but sometimes I'll be thinking so fast up here that when I talk, I mix my words, and then I say like really dumb phrases. Like I'll essentially take two words in my head and mix like a P and a B. So I've never said B-net putter. I've never said B-net putter, but that's an example of what would happen is when I say things like that. And I get roasted for it, but it happens from time to time. But I just made a little example. But yeah, dude, they're both great friends. But Cut, he can get back on it. Duckett, he's a guy. He's really good at Call of Duty. Very, very talented athlete. Duckett was this cat that windmill dunked it. One of my favorite games playing intramural basketball. We're playing Air Force basketball and people like try to throw hands sometimes. So we're enlisted. And, okay, I'll tell you this really funny story about Duckett. We're gonna get recalled and we're gonna get charged for this. We were playing basketball, and this was a game where this one guy was trying to throw down with Duckett. Duckett, by the way, is one of the most talented basketball players you've ever seen. He's also very good at football. He's also very fast. So he was playing this game. This dude tried to like box him out like extra hard, like really drive his he's trying to essentially give him a dead horse. He's trying to like fly into him and it's kind of like you're charging a player. And so all Duckett did was step to the side, grab him by the hips, and just like throw him behind him. And then he got like a fast break and like dunked it. And then the guy like complained, but he kind of did it to himself. And our boy Gandhi was there, and Gandhi was heckling that dude so bad that the dude left at halftime. But I've also seen Duckett pack somebody, I think, for the win, and then somebody was talking shit, and essentially he said, "Shut the fuck up," and somebody was like, "Excuse me, I'm a captain," and he said, "Ain't no rank on the court, bitch," and I was just like, damn. And this is all allegedly, by the way, but anyways, I was like, damn, man. And then he was like, he came up to us and he was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "I don't know, some woman's husband. She works, I don't know, I think she's back office. I don't really see." We were like, "I don't know who that is. He's some dependent." But yeah, he wants to get on the podcast too. So I mean, hey, invite's open to you as well. I like interviewing my friends. We've had Prather, we've had Frankie, we've had Cut. One day I'll get a celebrity on here. I will, by the end of 2020, I will get a celebrity on the JT Show somehow. That's what I promise you, 100% for sure. One of my plans today, again, it's raining. I wanted to start that garden. We watching the draft. The rest of the draft for Green Bay, we have 6 more picks as of right now, unless I haven't checked it in a minute. But we have the 1 pick in the 5th round at 175. We've got 3 picks in the 6th round, numbers 192, 208, and 209. I like those back-to-back picks. And then round 7, we have 236 and 242. And hey, remember when Tom Brady was drafted? So you can't tell me there's not value left on the board, because there's still hard workers out there. And when you get on the field for the first time, just know that it can make or break your entire career. So, play as well as you can. But I'm going to be paying attention to the draft, and I think I'm going to be playing some 2K. Me and Cut have been playing a lot of 2K. We've got a lot of 2K action coming up. When Cut comes up in June, we're going to push out a lot of content that week. So thanks for, that's most likely when I'll release the shirts, because I'll just give him to him and Travi. But yeah, that's what's going on for my day now, and what's coming up is the t-shirts for the JT Show. Again, I'm writing a lot. I'm writing scenes now for what if I wrote for a TV show, kind of those things, like conversations. So I'm trying to send my stuff to people, use it for free. I just want you to give me credit for it, and I don't care. So I'm pushing that out, creating ideas, just writing as much as I can. But that's all that's going on in my life. Watching some anime movies. Pretty far in One Piece. If I have time on Thursday next week, I'll put out that next One Piece episode. But other than that, I got some yard work to do. Again, I'm very blessed and humbled if you've made it this far. If you've made it this far, just let me know. Hit me up, text me, let me know. Thank you, so I can thank you again. Because if you're watching this, thank you so much. If you're listening to this too, thank you so much. But thanks for all the support. This was the JT Show signing out. Captain's Log. McDonald's, that was a terrible iced coffee.